And we do have two players from a very interesting game. The victor was Grandmaster Alexander Shabalov. And we also have Grandmaster-elect Sam Shankland, who graciously also is going to talk about his game. We'd love to invite you to the stage now.
Oops, excuse me. Gentlemen, before we get to your game, we'd like your opinion on this position. This is we're awaiting the move. Whoop, let me get.
Is the position correct?
Yeah.
The position is the position we have from.
Well, I was curious because we were playing Queen E7, Queen takes C5 a second ago. For what I saw, is absolutely no reason at all. I was wondering why we weren't taking E2. I don't know. Queen E7 seems like a strange. I thought maybe White had checked on B8 instead, but.
Well, you mean he should have taken on E2? Well, we looked at taking on E2.
Oh, okay. If that's not good. Oh, because
yeah.
C6 is
After takes, check.
Oh, because C6 and then F3 is defended.
Yeah. Right,
okay,
king
so
up takes and.
Probably Larry's in some trouble.
Queen takes C6, and now he just has a pass pawn and being able to put a bishop there. So the way the position is now, what we have is bishop takes. Queen E7, bishop E4. We actually thought A2 looked quite interesting as well, but bishop E4, Queen C5, and now he's played, instead of that, he's played Queen check first. And what's your opinion about this position?
It's close to being lost.
Close to being
Busto.
lost. Yeah.
Confirmed.
Yeah, this looks pretty bad. Okay, so that would really only flip the standings in the B group because Larry Christensen's at +1, Onishchuk's at 50%. So Onishchuk would just take over.
So he'd also be at +1.
He'd just be at +1 and chase Larry back to where he was.
And unfortunately for our guest here, you're going to be in +1 now. Tough game.
If Robert loses, we'll have a big +1 party.
Okay. So looking on the right side, right?
All right. I think it's unlikely that Robert should lose. Well, whoa.
He made it complicated for himself.
How did this get so complicated? This looked like something pretty boring.
But I'd already be looking for wins for black here if I were playing there. I don't know, but it looks.
No, maybe not. Takes on bishop F8.
I'm wondering if rook C3, not F4 immediately, but.
It is black to move, and
or maybe F4, E3. I don't know. It's complicated.
I don't know how this happened. We'll have to find out another time. But let's
right.
not have you guys waste your time.
Because you did have a pretty interesting.
You had a pretty
yourself.
Maybe more interesting for black, but.
So how much of this, Alex, was preparation? I mean, you seemed like you just blitzed out the moves.
Yeah, well, technically the new move for me was knight B1.
I thought knight B1 was a move you hadn't suspected in this position.
Well, for obvious reasons. Position was pretty bad for White at that point.
Yeah, so basically
little history, but so it's a totally new trend. Just started at the latest European Championship. The black scored a couple of very impressive victories with B5 and B4 idea. And also Jan Gustafsson, who won the tournament in Thailand last week, also won one of his games there by playing this. So it's like totally new, and I predict will become a pretty hot trend, in Catalan. So this position already happened at this European Championship, and White lost. I guess twice. White lost both games pretty fast. So.
Wow.
Maybe Alex has refuted the Catalan. Yeah, I think I just.
Okay, the only. Well, I guess Sam can explain it. It's like knight e5 and move 9 was a really dangerous move to play if you did not analyze this position at home.
I'll walk you through my thought process. I saw a new move, and I tried to find a way to put all my pieces on the back rank. And,
We liked it when we first saw it, actually.
Yeah, something like that. In all honesty, I didn't know about these games in European. I thought B5 at first. It looked kind of like a silly move to me. And I thought that, I should just be able to punish it. And I spent a long time here, which was probably which I should have just played a calm move. I was thinking about knight BD2, which Alex says is the best move, and then bishop b7. But I was actually concerned about the move b3. And I saw some line queen c4, bishop a6, queen b3, bishop e2, rook e1. I think black has to take the knight, because if bishop a6, knight e5, knight d5, knight dc4, I thought white was comfortably better, because black can't develop his pieces properly. So I thought black would just take f3 though. And now, so yeah, bishop f3, knight d5, bishop d5, e d5, queen b7, and knight d7, queen takes d5, and I thought knight f6, and queen d8, bishop d8, and I thought it was extremely unlikely I would win this endgame with, and black just puts a rook on the b file, knight on d5, bishop on f6, although probably this obviously would have been a bit nicer than what I got. Only white can play for an edge. And
Is that
probably
what you were planning to do, Alex?
No.
I didn't think so.
it didn't really seem in Shabalov's style, but
I suspected that answer.
anyhow, if I had known he was going to play bishop b7,
Bishop b7, I think.
I would have played knight bd2 in about 2 seconds then. But
Yeah.
okay, knight c4, and
Knight
we'll
c4,
play
bishop e4, and so on.
we'll play a Catalan.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So-
So that would have been normal position.
But
Instead, you played the ultra sharp knight e5, which
Which is
I
not
get-
bad if you analyze it.
If you know
and
what's
if
going
you
on.
did not, well,
Yeah,
it's dangerous.
well, so Alex was saying last minute, instead of bishop takes a8, I'm supposed to play knight d2. I mean, who's going to play knight d2? And then queen takes e5, knight takes c4. I don't know.
Wow.
It's kind of ludicrous, but
So were you uncomfortable when Alex was like blitzing out these moves that you weren't aware of?
to say the least.
Honest.
yeah. So now this position happened, and b3, queen up. The moves were still coming fast, though.
Well, as Alex said, he was still in theory.
But you were.
No, I basically had calculated out to this point. And
Sam was taking his time, but the idea of knight d5, it still was taken from that game of European Championship. I think black player was Ivan Salgado from Spain, and he employed the same idea, knight d5, and that actually allows black knight and b8 to come directly to c6.
Yeah, we were
And
impressed by
it's-
that for sure. At first, we really liked white's chances, but then once his knight showed up on d5, it said
Right.
change the position.
And so it, Sam actually put up there like a very good resistance. He played nice defensive moves up until
rook d1 is strong.
rook d1 is strong.
Because knight d4 doesn't work.
Right,
Bishop
bishop,
takes
takes d5. We saw.
So
For viewers who may have checked in late, we saw this line,
I don't know.
and then queen
Queen
d2,
D2,
winning
yeah.
piece. So then here you played instead just simply rook to
It's a good
d8.
move, yeah.
Rook d8, yeah. So knight e4. Sam chases my queen away.
Because now queen b5, I can just drop the knight back to c3, and probably it's a draw.
Now bishop e3, and I think I found like a very good plan. It started with bishop b5 and a6, and just black consolidates, and definitely better.
And now this wall is like impossible to get through.
Mm-hmm.
I think black's knight is just as good as my rook, and in other words, I'm down 2 pawns. So
Rook d2 was very strong. Queen a7, knight e4, knight d4, bishop g2.
and hopefully black will fall for c3 here, and then knight takes c3, knight takes c3, knight e2, and he thinks he wins, but I play king h1 and smile at him.
Pawn take, or queen take, doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, knight e2, and then it looks like black's gonna be up a couple pawns, but king h1, and
H1,
I'm the last one to laugh, but unfortunately the game did not go this way.
You kind of noticed that. So instead he played simply knight c2, and this rook.
Rook b1 is a good move. It's important to force me to play c6 first, and now there was a moment where Sam could have just taken on c2. Yeah. No, instead of queen d1. After queen d1, it was too late already. It was a moment now. It was very important to wait until I played c6, because otherwise my knight would go from d5 to c6 and d4. But this was the moment where he could have played rook takes c2, and I'm better, no questions about it. Pawn up, but to win this, it's another story. And
Okay.
when Sam missed this chance, I think it was pretty straightforward after that.
Queen moves and
And Rook F8 was a good move.
right. After this happened, it just looked like things were gonna go downhill.
Yeah,
really fast.
just want to like take my like rook off the board and put a bishop on.
On
The
B1,
dark,
yeah,
no,
we
dark
thought-
squared bishop on like
Yeah.
E3 or something. But
Yeah,
it's
Rook never showed up, which is what we
none
talked
of my
about.
rooks ever did anything.
Any exchange sacrifice, it's all about those rooks being able to get some kind of activity, and they just never ever showed up in this game.
And now G6, Queen G4, F5, and I lose the F3 pawn, and then my king is going to be less than thrilled.
Well, not a great moment for you, Sam, but you're still at +1.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
Yeah.
gotta like your chances in the game. Still.
Like I
In this
said, I
situation.
would trade places with Sam.
Yeah, okay, Robert is maybe going to be ahead of me, but I think I'm going to be tied with Onishuk for right behind, so, and, you know, okay, if I do well in the next couple rounds, I can still turn in a good result and potentially qualify for the Final Four.
And what about you, Alex? We said, some people were saying, well, you have not much to play for, but I said, that's not the Alex I know.
There's always money, you know.
I thought chess players don't care about money.
That's
we
true.
do.
Yeah, but well, that's what's left for me here.
Well, wait, but Alex, you're -1 now. So if you win
I'm
2 in a
minus-
row,
yeah.
you're +1. There's a chance for a playoff, right?
Theoretical chance. I mean, I expect the +2 will be like a qualifying mark. Yeah.
So
But
it's not-
last year, you had just a slim theoretical chance to qualify via defeating Kamsky with black in the last round. You still went for that. So are you
Right.
thinking about that small theoretical possibility?
Well, definitely, I'm gonna play. I mean, you'll see me fighting.
In this
as
ca-
usual.
in this case, it's sort of out of Alex's hands. He's just got to win his games and hope that the results shake out the right
Pressure's
way.
off. You know, with the best situation for me.
And we actually have a question for you from our audience at uschesschamps.com/questions. We revealed that you're a little bit of a tech-savvy dude. You might be spending some of your your winnings on the latest Android, iPad, or whatever is new.
Oh.
So we got some questions for you. Is there a stronger engine than Ripka 4?
I mean, nobody uses Ripken in his analysis anymore. That's, I mean, not a secret. And
I do.
Uh-oh, maybe that's why you lost today. No.
Well, I guess if you have to run one engine, it has to be Houdini, and normally it's Houdini plus something. I mean, second engine, it's an engine of choice. It's just like engines that checking up engine for Houdini that it's looking at after him if he's a blunder or anything, or
How many
sometimes.
engines do you use?
I mean, if you're using less than 2, your analysis is just incomplete. I mean, 2 is bare minimum. Yeah.
Now, what kind of specs on your computer do you have so that the two engines run seamlessly without slowing you down?
Well, you need a RAM between 8 and 12.
Okay, so a pretty hefty machine.
It has to be good.
All right, yeah, because those engines can take up a lot of space on your computer.
Right, that's
So some great tech answers there from Alexander Shabalov. Not shy about sharing, but you also have to put in the work, right? You also have to put in the work.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, and remember that stuff that you analyze. That's the toughest part.
Was this on your board this morning or on your computer? Did you predict getting this today?
Up to before knight b1, I got this position at home. That's
Modern day chess at the professional level. Well, we want to thank Sam Shankland for coming up so graciously after losing his game, and to congratulate Alex Shabalov on his fine victory. Gentlemen, we wish you the best in the rest of the competition.
Thank you.
Thanks.